Hello, welcome to SHOWstudio. Today I've got no notes, I'm completely off script, just a glass of bubbly, and I think that's very Versace. I'm feeling very fabulous. So let's start with our introduction, starting from the far end.
Jennifer Williams-Baffoe, Business Development Consultant, and I'm also Technology Enhancing Learning for Central St. Martin's. Lovely to be here.
I'm Charlotte, I run the Mush Pit, and I'm a stylist.
I'm Mimma Viglezio and I'm a consultant.
I'm Caroline Charles, established since 1963. True.
Designer.
Oh, designer, so sorry.
Fantastic, thank you all for being here. I'm Finn Mactaggart, I'm a musician and an archivist at One of a Kind Fashion Archive, and I'm very excited to be talking about Versace. I think when Versace came up as a panel to be doing, asked why on earth are we doing Versace, because I was incredibly bored by the last two collections, but Versace is a label which I respond to quite immediately, and Donatella Versace is somebody I think is absolutely fabulous. And I think the reason we're talking about Versace now in particular is because there's potentially some change afoot. Tisci has left and everyone's talking about Tisci at Versace. So I wanted everyone to kind of reflect on Donatella's time at the helm and see what everyone thinks of her role at Versace.
I think she's very, very brave to take on the role, even though she probably wanted to emotionally, but really brave. And I think that whenever you go to look at the clothes on the hanger in the stores, they are so beautifully made that the reflection of her workrooms and her production is fantastic. As to the styling, well, it's their handwriting. You have to love it. You do. Do you love it?
I totally agree with you on the brave factor, and I remember exactly that time, and it was very hard because not only she was taking on the role of someone adored and worshipped, but it was also her brother being killed. So it was. But anyway, she did it amazingly well, and she kept the brand going. And even if there were controversy like overspending, financial problem, they're still there and they're still going, adored by the red carpet stars, adored by American. Is it my style to answer you? No, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I still have huge respect, and I agree with Finn that the past year or two was a little bit less interesting for some reasons that I ignore. Is it true that she wants to step down and give it to someone younger or newer? It's possible. I could see Riccardo Tisci there perfectly.
It's too perfect.
I must say one thing about Versus, that I think the past two seasons of Versus were probably the best ever since she took Versus back, doing it herself, and maybe that's a sign as well.
I mean, to me, J.W. Anderson doing Versus is one of my absolute favourite collections of all time.
And Christopher Kane was I think she was a champion of, very sort of supportive of those young designers, which was interesting because to me, it's a very nostalgic brand. Like the sort of, all the signifiers and symbolism is just very 90s to me. I mean, it was something I wore as a teenager, but I would not wear now. And she's iconic. It's Donatella.
Exactly, it's Donatella. It's like a brand in herself.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I mean, before, if you look at like tech companies now, you would say they were like really, like Twitter or something like that, unicorn brand, you would say that. I would say that Versace is that because of all the things that they've managed to do, from perfumes, through to accessories, through to hotels. I mean, it's amazing. It's a super brand. And that is a lot to kind of take on. So I can see why she would be kind of tired and sort of thinking maybe someone else should take the helm. Caroline and I were talking earlier, and we're thinking, would Allegra, her daughter, sort of be involved a little bit?
Well, she's mentioned that Allegra is a real inspiration for Versus, and I see them kind of coalescing around Versus, perhaps.
Maybe she will take Versus over. But there's also been a change in management because Jonathan Ackroyd took over as the CEO, coming from McQueen, and there's obviously something going on there. But
She, Donatella, is on the cover of W magazine this month with Kate Moss and 3 other beautiful, famous beauties.
I haven't seen it actually.
It's wonderful, wonderful, the big collection issue.
But she was
So
in-
she's a
even she
beauty
had as well.
in
Yes,
her.
yes.
I think it's like a changing of the tides and everything. Like obviously at Vogue and Riccardo Tisci, I mean at YSL, there's like a real sea of change, and I think this is riding it, so it'll be kind of interesting to see where it goes.
Sorry, when you said YSL, I had this instinctive facial reaction, which was like, ugh, because Vaccarello just was so disastrous to me at Versus and is continuing to be absolutely disastrous at
I mean, it
YSL.
looks like-
I sort of agree with you.
I think it's so hideous, and I really
I
always
was a
will hate
heavy fan,
Vaccarello for
so-
making Versace
Oh, thank you.
uncool. I think. Oh, is this is the cover we're talking
Yeah.
about?
Great.
Yeah, there she is.
Thanks for mentioning it. I
Oh,
I
Yeah,
haven't
this is
seen it.
fantastic. I haven't
Well
seen
done,
this either.
research department. Amazing. No sign language. Beautiful shot though, and that's her. So you know, she have to admit she's done the work. She's got over the misery. She's got there, and
She's
she's
so
still a
cool.
beauty.
I mean,
I
when
wouldn't
you
say
think,
a beauty,
Well,
but
on that picture.
sorry, Donna.
On that
Yeah.
picture. She
but
is.
when you think of Versace, you do think of this. You think of Hollywood glamour. You think of red
Yeah.
carpets. You think of celebrity, and we're in a moment which is very much about celebrity. I'm always upset that this comes up as a conversation about. I don't know. I think Donatella was so much better at picking people out. She was very good at picking music. I always think she's had great music taste. She's always been a fan of music. She likes grime. She likes Angel Hayes. She liked the gossip. And I thought she was really cool. But now designers kind of throw people who are so boring, like Kendall Jenner, into the mix, and it becomes.
She's a judge on the LVMH panel now.
It's
Kendall, yeah.
truly
I wonder
horrendous.
why. Yeah, I read it yesterday, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Because this is the industry. They just love.
Like,
But I
I
also
also heard a
have
rumor
a
she
panel
was
on the
apparently asked to be signed to a, I won't say who, a very major agency as a photographer.
Oh my goodness, so she does everything now.
I'm just like, come on.
Let's go back to Donatella.
Yeah.
But you know, one thing about Donatella that is very true is the models love her. I mean, nobody ever said something bad about her, and it's not only because she's powerful. I think she is truly a nice person. I never met her, so I don't know personally, but she's so loved by everybody who works with her.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's truly good.
Her and the Givenchy campaign was iconic as well. I think she doesn't have potentially that spiteful edge that some may have. She seems like she'd be a lot of fun.
I mean, I was watching an interview where she was talking about how her perception she thought was of someone who's very cold, and when in reality she was incredibly friendly, and they cut to a shot of her kind of talking with a model, and it was all very jovial and stuff. I've always felt very warm to her.
Yeah, she doesn't feel cold at all to me.
No, she's very brave with what she's done to herself too. God, I
That's
think
a good
so
way of
brave.
putting it.
I can't go to the dentist, but she just manages to do all that stuff. I
No, that's
admire
quite
her.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
it's
do
amazing.
think she's good.
And to do it to like another rival brand
Yeah.
essentially is quite a brave move.
Wasn't that a shout out to Riccardo becoming
Yeah.
the Versace designer,
Wow.
creative director? I mean, that was pretty cool. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
be cool to do that.
You do.
Very, she is. She's brave. Always.
And also on Givenchy behalf to
Yeah,
let
exactly.
Riccardo do it, you know, on the anyway.
I mean, going back, I suppose, to her work, she really managed to kind of not just be brave enough to take over the helm, but really successfully manage Versace at the turn of the century and turn it into something that was worn by, that became a very iconic brand of the kind of early 2000s. You know, where Gianni had his kind of Liz Hurley moment with the safety pin dress, she had her Jennifer Lopez moment with the jungle print
amazing
dress.
Oh yes,
The green one.
Yeah.
barely there.
Yes. Yes. So she's really managed to embrace the kind of, I don't know, high branding side of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, she just really gets that. And do you think that she was always growing up part of her brother's business? Or do you think she just thrown into it? She was really married to one of them, not the brother, but she was married to Who was she married to? The director of production or the managing? No, somebody she's married to. Research.
The model.
No, yeah, it was. What's his name?
Exactly.
Allegro's father.
Yes. Anyway, she was married into the business in some way, or he was married into the business with her. But do we think that she studied design or just grew up in the influence of?
I think I was reading that she grew up in the influence because obviously she was Gianni's muse, wasn't she? And then she kind of got involved, and then he gave her verses.
Yeah, he created verses for her.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Verses is really her baby.
Yeah.
Yes,
And that's why she used it to make it someone else's baby. She was very generous in fostering new talent, and I mean, she gave us Christopher Kane and Jonathan Anderson. I mean, she spotted them out before. So she always worked with Gianni. I think she was around him.
He's in a pod,
Yes, it's a nice fact.
They were very close.
Yeah.
Are we, I mean, I mentioned not being very keen on the last two collections. Mimma, maybe you're not such a fan as well, but how do we feel about the recent Versace collections that she's done, aside from Versus?
They're not groundbreaking.
That sounds very kind, I think.
But we're not in science or medicine. We just make clothes. We don't have to break ground. We're not builders. We're not road builders. We just draw things and put them on women.
This is very true. It's just a Versace dress, isn't it? I mean, the colours I find quite hideous, to be perfectly honest.
They're truly hideous.
And like the sort of influence of like the sports luxe thing on it makes me. But then there's not a huge amount to say about it, to be honest.
Purple, that's important.
Yeah.
Purple's very, very strong all the way through the yarn cards and all the colour, the dyeing up of fabrics at the moment. So the set is good.
But that's the problem when people need, okay, I'm going to say it, when people need to sell clothes, then they try to tone down their creativity or their ideas. And then there is a difference between, I don't know if you saw Prada's show yesterday, which was a masterpiece, anthological masterpiece in doing this perfectly, in putting on the catwalk clothes that are normal, but still incredibly creative and incredibly forward, which not everybody is very good at doing.
What was in it? I didn't see the show. What was in it that was incredible? Tell me. Go on, just one. The collar, cuff, something?
No, I mean, the ideas. I mean, you had coats and skirts that were like, I don't know how to say it better because the word is a little bit weird, but normal, very wearable, but then with some twist, either feathers or a color or a patchwork of things. I mean, is this can we see it? And then, of course, as usual, Miuccia's styling and Miuccia's music, whatever, but I thought, what was impressive about these shows was exactly what wasn't with the last two Versace shows, where there were skirts and coats and shoes, yet they had something about, the way they put together the colors, but then if you separate them, it's just a very beautiful skirt,
I don't like this collection
like
at all.
No.
I don't like it at all. I think it's very dowdy.
Really?
And I think it's sexless. And Prada's always been the kind of intellectual.
But that's the sexiness of Prada.
I know I know, and that's perhaps why I gravitate more towards the recent Gucci stuff or to Versace, is because it's sex on legs, and I think that's fantastic. I like embracing that, and I think this is some woman who wants to write a book in a cabin. It's not a woman who wants to go out and party and have a good time.
No, it's not true. I always love Prada because it's very intellectual and very, as you call it, sexless if you want. But I can promise you can be writing a book in a cabin, go out and have great sex and great fun. So
it's never happened to me, unfortunately.
That
you need a full studio. You'll get one, then you'll be fine outside.
No, I absolutely love this show because it's Miuccia at her best. It's what she does best, severe and intellectual and engaged and deep and profound, yet she can fun and a little bit eccentric.
A little bit. Do you
I
think?
think ever since she did a collection that was called Ghosts at Sea, and it was in reference to the refugee crisis, I haven't been able to look at Prada in the same way, if I'm being totally honest.
So is this negative or positive?
Negative.
Okay.
What did she do with the baby?
One
at
of her
sea?
collections was around the time, the height, I mean, not that it stopped, of their refugee crisis, and the
Yes.
collection was called Ghosts at Sea, and it was windswept sort of makeup and hair, and it just,
yes,
to
I
me,
forgot that.
was offensive.
Or perhaps she wanted to draw our attention to a serious situation. I mean,
But
I would call that
I'm not
intellectual
sure
rather than the
how
collar.
Selling a struggle through luxury clothing is telling a message. I don't know that it's perhaps the right medium to talk about that.
They're all doing this in a different way.
Yeah,
Maybe they're
exactly.
not quoting the refugees, but they all
But
this
she did
season
in her
it's so
post-show
political.
notes, I think, and yeah, exactly. I'm very wary of political issues as a badge of, like you say, it's becoming very fashionable. Look at like Dior and Ashish in the London shows and stuff. Not that there's always a bad thing, but I think there's a way of doing things, and there's an implicit way of doing it rather than being so overt, which can, like the Prada show, just for me,
What, did you
be
find it
uncomfortable.
offensive?
I found it problematic. Yes.
Really? It's interesting. I mean, so for example, somebody like, I don't know, when they're doing slogan t-shirts and things like that, that doesn't bother
But
you?
they're
or-
talking, most of the slogan t-shirts are talking about sort of feminism, and that's like a different topic, I think. I think that's a different
Are you
conversation.
talking about the way that they're styling it, what they're trying to make it?
I think if we like pull up the show notes, it was her sort of post-show notes that were quite, spoke to a lot of people and were also quite taken aback.
It's funny. I was there. I saw the show, and I don't. I'm very sensitive to. We were talking about Cuba and Chanel before. I'm very sensitive about appropriating or feeling entitled to, and that didn't. It's the first time I hear about that, and that didn't offend me in the same way. I have to go back and look at it.
I think
and
fashion
thinking
should engage.
And I
with
also
all this.
because Miuccia is very political in a good sense.
She should
you
be
know,
on
she's
some
very
little pedestal somewhere.
engaged with.
I think we should-
Caroline, jump in.
I think
yeah.
we should engage with all political movements, particularly this one.
It's not
I
a
mean, it's
question
only,
of not engaging.
it's only
I think
15
it's
years
the way.
since some of those refugees
Yeah.
will be on the catwalk.
Well, let's
and they'll tell their story. And I think
But they weren't on the catwalk. That's
let's
I will
bring
go.
this back to
Go ahead.
Versace. here.
Okay.
Because I think probably the thing that I quite enjoy about Versace is it's a world quite free of politics. And as much as I do engage in politics in my everyday life, I do really respect when luxury brands, not blands, luxury brands are simply that.
Yeah.
They are luxury brands for an elite, and they create outrageous, glamorous, sexy items.
The
that
designers
are
are
objects.
human beings that live in the same society.
Oh,
we
I
do.
wish Donatella Versace lived
They
in the same
don't
society
live-
as me.
Yeah, but they don't. I mean, they don't. They are affected by what's going on in the world, and they don't live in a vacuum. So it's absolutely
they
normal.
do.
But they
They
do.
have a.
They do,
No,
they
don't.
really do.
No, come on. They
And I
don't.
think that should be reflected.
But it's not true. Just because they're wealthy, they don't feel that maybe Trump is not a good idea.
I bet they don't
I mean,
think Trump is a good idea.
No, I disagree. I mean, I'm the first one here who get attacked by the listener when I try not to be, when I don't want people to be superficial on issue of feminism and diversity, because I do care. So I'm the first one who wants a deep, discourse. However, I don't think that it's not right that a fashion designer is using their voice and their platform to talk about what's going on in the world.
It irritates me when it does not come from an honest place. So my favorite designer, it may be obvious, is Vivienne Westwood, and
Now, I was going to talk about Highland
yes.
Rape, right? That show? That was her
Okay,
show.
yes.
Why
The
is it
Highland
honest
Rape
from
show.
her,
It's
not
before
from
you were
Miuccia?
born. I'm sorry, that's the trouble.
No,
But
but
you
Why
know
is it
about
honest
it.
from her and not from Miuccia?
because it's from her brand DNA.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the very essence of what it
Miuccia Prada,
is.
we all know where Miuccia comes from and how she was politically active whenever she started, and she was a rebel in her family. I mean,
Exactly.
you just know don't know it because you
Well,
grew up
we do
here
know
and
it.
not there.
We do know it. We know it. No, we
No, but we
English
treat
do
we
know
treat it differently.
But also,
We know
when
that
someone does a
about
lot of
her.
stuff
Yeah.
outside
Mitchell,
her brand,
yeah.
I think, like, her as a person, she's so vocal about it outside of each collection. And
Who, Vivian?
Yes. And I think, and I'm not saying you can't reflect politics in your clothes. Obviously, it's important. It's the way in which you go about it, so it doesn't feel
Contrived.
Yeah, contrived, and it feels.
And a
it
lot
has-
of people's
you're
politics
selling
these
luxury
days,
clothes
particularly in fashion, feel very contrived, very wishy-washy, and not really attached to strong agendas. And personally, I would rather see Versace do something that was completely out of that world of a very safe political debate than attempt to engage in a kind of very flat, superficial debate.
I'm not expecting her to come up with political statements. I don't think she will.
But she's.
But should fashion designers be dressing the Trump family? Very obviously. Should they? Now, with the
I don't
things
really
that are
want to go
going...
into the Trump thing.
Oh, no, it's really good, you should do. Let's engage with it.
Should I?
Yeah.
I don't think you want
It
me
is
to go
too
there.
funny and wonderful and terrifying.
We've opened a can of worms now. No, I'm joking. We haven't.
Oh dear.
I think everybody should do what they feel they
That's
should
right.
do. I don't
Okay,
think
I
it's
agree,
right or
of course.
wrong.
Okay.
I don't think it's wrong to dress Melania or wrong to say, no, I don't want to dress Melania. I think everybody is entitled
No, I'm
and
not
free
saying
to
right
do
or wrong, but you
Well,
know, there is
I'm
there is
just
an iconic
reasoning.
new brand up there to be dressed. And would you, if you were me and you were asked to do that, would you say yes or no?
I don't think I would, because I'm very politicized.
Exactly, me too.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I wouldn't also, but not because she's
No, nothing to do with her
the wife of
personally.
the president, but it's because she's Melania Trump.
Because she's part
I
of the
can't
regime.
go there.
That's right.
I would no, not for the regime, for who she is herself.
I
Probably.
don't know about her herself,
But
but
Back to Donatella, back to Versace.
I think it's starting.
We may be starting, which would be fun. I mean, there were I noticed some teasers, which I was just shown before we went on. The show is about to start, which featured nods to punk, nods to, she's always been a bit of a rock chick, which is something I've enjoyed. She's always explored that in Versus. And
Versace too, sometimes.
I suppose so, yes.
Well, the pin dress, exactly that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, indeed. So, yes. I mean, is there anything that we're expecting from the show?
A slash to the navel dress.
A slash to the navel
leather
dress.
mini skirts.
Well, she always empowered women. Her women are, in a way or another, sexy and strong and self-assured,
Yeah,
so
brave.
I think that's what I expect more than ever, because this is a time where people like to talk about feminism, sometimes superficially, sometimes in a not right way. If someone can talk about feminism without needing to write it, that's Donatella.
Yeah, exactly. Implicit rather than.
Exactly.
But we were talking about the Versace woman, and I think a lot of people would not see that woman as an empowered woman. They would see it as a woman who has to sell sex in order to be seen as powerful. Personally, I think it's a very powerful woman. I was doing a panel on Yohji Yamamoto, and we were talking about how powerful it was that women were dressing in men's clothing, and this idea of that kind of power, which to me has always seemed the opposite of a powerful woman. Is the Versace woman truly a powerful woman? Do we find it a feminist statement? Is it a...
No, she needs to show up when she arrives. That's the woman she dresses. She's got to be photographed as she arrives. Someone's got to probably be quite close to her in case some of it doesn't all stay together. But that is the point of dressing with Versace. But equally, I would like to say that she does wonderful suits, wonderful jackets. They're just not what she's famous for. But she does, and she understands all that. And you don't have to be blonde.
Thanks. I think I was expecting the blonde joke here, but
No, I said you didn't.
I think her woman, the one she has in her mind, the one she depicts, is very powerful.
Yes.
And very independent and just a badass. Not sure. I don't know if the same woman if all the women that wear Versace and buy her clothes are that.
Not Barbie.
But they're not Barbie for sure, but exactly, I don't know. Do you see what I'm trying to say? I don't know if it's the same woman, but in her head, I think she is strong and independent. Look at her. You know, she is strong and independent.
Even down to the celebrities that she picks from all walks of life. As you said, Elizabeth Hurley. She's had Lady Gaga in her clothes. She's had Little Kim, hip hop star, who are all quite powerful, iconic women. So definitely, I really do think
And there was always a lot of debate around somebody like Lil' Kim. Is she, because she was pure sex, which to me I found absolutely fantastic. That that a woman would so celebrate their sexuality and bring that so to the forefront and use that to dominate completely a male-dominated scene. And there's something of that image of the Versace girl, this kind of real sexual badass woman.
That's probably one of the reasons why she picked Little Kim, because Little Kim, at that time, she really owned that space, as you said, being in a male-dominated world, and sort of, men seeing her as, not as just a sex object, but someone that they can actually look up to and respect. So, I think that's also very brave of Donatella to go out there and pick somebody like Little Kim. I think initially when it first happened, people were like, huh? Why? Why did she pick her? And then as Little Kim grew, you could see, strangely enough, Little Kim is she said she's turned herself into Donatella. That's what she's done.
She looks like a
black version of Donatella Versace. Weird, but
she's got the lips now, the kind of plastic surgery down.
It's a bit extreme, I think, the whole wanting to look like Donatella, but I do understand it in terms of the clothing and why she picked Little Kim. And obviously we've seen people like Lady Gaga in it and Rihanna, and you name it, she's dressed them.
And Versace was very important to Lil' Kim, but also to Biggie and to that kind of world of, that turn of the century hip hop movement. It would be names, it would never be anything like Balenciaga or Givenchy. It was all about Versace, it was about Gucci, it was about Louis. And that has so much to do with this branding and the kind of very graphic show off part of it, which was so important in street culture, where you feel very kind of, I suppose, ignored by society at large, to really step out into the street and be like, here I am.
It's very brash. And the sexiness isn't cool now, because I guess it's your Celine's, it's your Balenciagas, it's like the sort of like the J.W. Anderson, which is interesting that they work together. So, because for me, the J.W. Anderson women and the Versace women are like the different ends of the spectrum.
Which is why that was such a good collection, because it's the perfect coming together of.
Yeah, exactly.
But yet, when you watch the red carpets at the awards, especially in the States, it's very, they mostly naked. I think they should wear a little bit more of Versace right now, because they're wearing brands that are like, what's that? So I really hope that Donatella is dressing a few. If you want to be sexy and almost naked, do it in Versace, because she does it well. You see what I mean? While there's all these brands that try to be Versace, and they're obviously not.
No, exactly.
And to go back to what you were saying, I think it's true that there was this time where the Versace and the Gucci's were the name that people were aspiring to, and I guess a lot of hip hop musicians put that word in their, songs and tracks, and it has created a whole world, a whole dream that it's a tiny bit disappearing, fading away, or new one, thank God, are coming on. And that's why maybe Donatella feels it's time for her to go, but she hasn't announced anything. Maybe we're all wrong, but
So here we go, we're starting the show.
We can't really see what she's wearing, but
it's a long old catwalk.
That really is.
You said black miniskirt. There it is.
There it is.
So even there, it's a jacket.
Oh, some punky hair.
I'm not expecting any plus size models, that's all I'm going to say. A hood up.
Oh,
Slogan.
yeah.
There it is. It says Versace, right? Was it
It
V?
said love.
Or love?
Love.
Yeah.
Maybe the next one will say unity. Oh, there's Gigi.
I mean, she's been playing a lot with sort of athleticism recently. There's something a bit running track about this very slim, focused runway.
Yeah.
There's hoods.
There's tailoring. Those are
Yeah.
jackets, coats, right?
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
a kind of classic.
Yeah.
But
I
we're
don't,
not
I don't
seeing.
see. I don't see the clothes actually. So
Actually, she's the master of stretch Georgette in flesh colours that keep the dresses together while looking naked. She's the master of it, more than her brother even. I like this
that was
streaky
quite a
hair.
cool coat, but I would like to see it longer.
You and I will have to talk about this later. We can make it longer for you, madam. I like all this black with streaks of colour.
That looks like the
orange
Viva
and red.
scarf a bit.
It's great. Very good.
So there are slogans.
Yeah.
I predicted there weren't, and I was completely wrong.
That's like the Prada coat.
I've got to say, I'm getting very tired of this hair.
Yeah, quite.
The
But every
parted
colour.
in the middle and straight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the matter with the rubber band at the back, I think?
I agree.
Fair.
Just get it off the head, off the clothes, clear the collar.
To me, there's something quite dated about
Correct.
this athletic
Yeah.
look.
There's a little bit Alexander Wang.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like
Whoa.
even that
Big
Philip
Catherine
Klein, disastrous
Hamlet.
Philip Klein show that was a complete
Oh,
rip-off
wow.
of the Alexander Wang thing.
Yeah.
I think this athleticism thing that she's playing with feels just super dated to me.
Yeah.
There's no Olympics this year, that's the reason.
Ah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's
She's
why.
carrying the torch.
She's
No
carrying
pun
it.
intended.
But it's funny what you say, because that jacket that we just saw without the hoodie would have been so much better. There are some quite amazing coats.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I don't know. This is a real snooze fest for me.
Yeah.
What do you say?
A snooze
Just
fest.
drink your drink and
Yeah.
I'll drink.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's some purple.
Nearly,
Back we
not
go.
quite. Close. But all with orange.
She's embracing the 80
Yeah.
wide
I like the
shoulder
earrings on that one.
tailoring.
Bit of leather for a change. Oh, the
The
grumpiness.
beanies are not.
No,
No.
The
it's a
beanies are
no-no.
not a good look.
I don't like the slogans at all.
No,
Did-
what
I
about-
think
much
that
better
beanie
without
said
it.
equality. I was thinking that was coming up soon.
and the tide running out is never a good look, is it?
I'm not.
I want
Ombre
Venus
thing,
inequality.
yeah.
I'm not
Ah.
that appalled actually. I think we're going more and more towards a time where we have to dissect the shows look by look. If you see what I'm trying to say, you know, it doesn't even feel Versace, this one, for me.
No, it feels like a real sort of mishmash of everything that's bang on trend.
I mean, khaki is not a
No,
colour I
a sh- and a
associate
shirt-
with
and a
Versace.
shirt collar up to button up to
No.
here.
There's none
And
of those kind of lurid greens
No,
and yellows.
these arms, that's
But this is a new venue, isn't it, out by the airport, and it's too big
No,
to put an ordinary camel coat down.
oh, are
Right.
they also by the airport like Gucci?
I think they're all in that space, aren't they? I don't know, it looks
No,
like...
no. Gucci is their own space. The offices are there as well. And yeah, I
I
don't know.
thought-
I didn't know
Anyway,
that
this
Versace
is, this
had
is
a
a
new
big
venue.
space.
Okay.
Too long, isn't it? Aeroplanes, it reminds me of planes of mist when you're running.
I think it's, believe it or not, it's quite hard to judge like this. There are some good ideas, but I see many brands in it.
yeah, exactly.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, there was the Prada shearling coat, there was the Wang beanies, there's the like V-file scarf.
The Catherine Hamlet slogans. We keep going on about.
Yeah.
They are.
Oh, God.
Look, unity. I literally said that 2 minutes ago.
And the equality is going to come up.
She's going to have a white T-shirt at the end with diversity written
Yeah,
across
there
it, I
you go.
think.
You're calling it.
I just
Power.
really hate the streaks in the hair. It's very like a lame version of what Marc Jacobs was doing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that sexy. Earlier on we were
No,
talking about sexy
I want
shit.
like
It's
the
not-
sexy dress to come through, and I've not seen it yet.
Or
Well,
prints,
define
more
sexy. I
prints.
mean, what?
You know,
I
like
think
the
I was thinking a
classic
bit
sort
more
of like,
clingy and
yeah,
when the miniskirt came out, I thought we were going to see more of that. It's not.
yeah, like the classic Versace
Yeah.
dress.
Like if you have it flaunted.
Yeah. We haven't seen it.
There is a lot of black and orange. Did
And
you
it's
notice?
all Vaccarello's fault. I tell you, Vaccarello introduced far too much black to Versace, and I absolutely hold him accountable.
I want the like chainmail Versace.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you know what? It's funny. The teasers that they gave on Twitter, the little neck chains, and I thought I was going to see a lot of that, the kind of guilt.
Yes.
I haven't seen any of it.
I mean, that
That is
doesn't.
hideous, truly. Sorry, but that is just a horrible mix of
Just
prints.
tell us really what you
Don't want
think.
that.
No, I won't.
No, I
Please
won't.
don't get me that
No,
for Christmas,
No, just
Caroline.
scrapping.
Don't hold back. Just tell us really what you think.
I won't hold back. I mean, I do. Yeah, it's because I really do have respect for what I think the brand is about.
Yeah.
That this feels so appalling to me.
It feels a bit grumpy, doesn't it? Do you
It
know
does
what I mean?
feel
The girls are
grumpy.
not having a good time, are they?
No.
But that's very of the brand. Oh, she's so cross as well. The brand dress, though, mesh, see-through,
It's just
applique,
confused, I think. I
orange
think it's very
again.
confused.
I don't like these words.
No.
No,
It's
and
very
the sport.
distracting.
You're right. The sport white inserts, no good.
You know what the problem is for me?
Oh,
it's that
this is
I don't
forgotten
see
its
Versace
lining
at
again.
all.
No, exactly.
Caroline
Loyalty.
says this one's forgotten its lining.
Yes, the next one.
I don't see Versace. I see a little bit of everything, and
Yeah.
as you said before,
God,
every
that's
trend
Mexico
is
Casino,
there.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
But you know, she's not stupid. Maybe that's what she wanted. Like, do you want
No.
trends? Let me give you trends.
This isn't
No?
trends. This is 10 years old. This is
No, every
Late.
trend is there. Like it or not, she put it
from
in.
the past 10 years.
Yeah, well, maybe
but
this
not
is
Yeah.
the
from this
wrap-up
year.
show. Maybe this is it.
That's
You're
what I was
right.
trying to
Oh
say.
god,
Right.
and there's Kendall
There you
Jenner.
go.
Don't.
Is that Bella? There she is.
We've seen Gigi, Bella, yeah. they were
Oh
there.
god, the whole lot. I mean, truly, when Gigi got up and accepted her award for International Model of the Year, I was about to
Me too. I wanted
vomit
to, yeah.
into my box at the BFAs. It was really horrendous. And the fact that they still let these people around.
That's what I like about Alessandro Michele. It doesn't work with those
No,
guys.
exactly. Or at least bring some
There
real
goes.
supermodels.
Yeah,
there we
with
go.
dress
That's
waist.
the
There
chainmail.
goes
The
Come on.
chainmail.
Your dress.
I wouldn't have chosen that. Yeah, exactly. But I would choose that dress out of everything so far. Oh,
This
another
is
one.
more
That's
like
better.
it.
Here
Yeah.
comes
That's what we used
Donatella.
to.
Yeah.
Ruined it with the makeup and hair, though.
Yeah.
Nah.
Maria Carla.
Can we hear a bit more of that music? I can kind of hear it slightly.
Like
Are you
tinny.
able to turn it up for us so we know what she's giving us sonically at the same time? that possible?
Now I can see Versace.
Yeah, exactly. The puffer jackets really threw me.
That
Yeah.
was a little bit Balenciaga.
Yeah.
Old school Michiko Kishino.
Yeah, everything goes back somewhere,
it?
but I'm thinking about, you know, the latest.
Yeah.
Everything goes
Look,
back
there's
somewhere.
like, that's the thigh split we're after.
Yeah.
But I mean, the top half can, you know.
I think it's very important to die very young as a first designer. Otherwise, people remember things like Dior just got it
Say
right.
that.
Amber
Then I
Benedetta.
can say that because I'm still here.
Oh, is this? We can hear the music. Oh, thank you. Much appreciated.
But sometimes it's not the music of the. Is it the music that is okay? They said yes.
It's a bit soft. It's a bit churchy.
Oh, that's it.
Oh no, have we lost our stream because I've asked for the music?
No, we didn't lose the screen. I think they're preparing for the finale. It's all dark.
Ah, I see.
Oh.
I hope
that
so,
it?
Mimma.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
there we go. Sorry, I was terrified that I wouldn't get to see the finale.
See, that first look with the long blazer and the white shirt is
It's all
the
very
first
well
look in
having
the
the camera
trendy show
on
as
the
well.
top of
Or
the head,
not first,
but it's
but
no good for us, is it?
No, it's no good.
the trends are there.
Absolutely no good. And the whole
Exactly.
point is to
Oh.
get everything online for everybody. That's
The
now you
orange
see they're
puffer
printing
jacket is just.
No, that
And there's really not much creativity in the set design. I mean, we were doing Gucci just recently, Mimma, and we got panels of glass and a huge sci-fi pyramid.
And plexiglass.
And this
thought
feels
it was
like a
framing every look.
it's the kind of club you walk into and then immediately walk out again once you see what it looks like inside.
yeah, it needs to be
Oh my
mysterious, doesn't it? Stranger things.
I like the earrings.
Yeah, but they're not new. They're been around
Maybe it was drummers.
for at
telling
least
us.
2 years.
I just wanted to lift
The mood.
the
I'm,
mood.
It's somber, isn't it?
I'm not as negative as you are, but I'm a little bit underwhelmed. But I still think that I would like to go home and have a look by look.
That's actually a Hood by Air. Hood by Air just did exactly that puffer jacket with the detached bottom half that falls off. It's actually almost exactly a copy from 2 seasons ago.
Well, I hope you're prepared to go into the witness box and
I
say that.
am.
when they're-
But only because I have so much love for Donatella.
Oh. There's a lot of girls working here, aren't there?
I mean, how
when they're
many
going
looks is
round to
this?
The light on which they walk.
That's why London Fashion Week, in its own venue, is a disaster. There's no time and no money.
It's true. It's
Just,
true.
it's simply
Okay,
amazing.
here she is. Here she is.
Hooray!
What's she wearing?
Well, she's walking. She's
Oh,
blonde.
do the whole thing. Absolutely.
She's cutting the
brilliant.
She
corners.
cut the corners, exactly. She didn't do that, did she?
She did what she told every
Finishing
model
each
not
other's
to do.
sentences.
Look at that sachet.
Okay, let me see. She's got the
I
score
don't
She's got
know
one of the
about
dresses.
that.
without orange.
It's got
What did you
equality
say?
on the
You-
side. Yeah.
No, that's not good. It's getting
Well,
the
that,
line.
the notes, the show notes were talking about, they started with the word diversity.
Yes.
And I think diversity in here was meant by what you call confusion.
And let's end the panel at that.
Goodbye.
You know, I mean, Gucci has started this something for everybody trend.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I guess they're trying to do something for everybody trend because it obviously sells.
But
And
there's-
that's maybe
no,
what
but
she
there's-
calls
there's-
diversity.
There's the way that Michele does eclecticism, which goes from all sorts of locations and times.
Yeah.
And this mishmash is just simply a kind of regurgitation of what somebody thinks was cool for the last 10 years.
No, I disagree. I think this show had cohesion, was consistent with its black dresses and its colour, orange and this mustard yellow. And I thought yesterday's Gucci was honestly the playroom gone berserk.
Fantastic. That sounds
amazing.
great to me.
I thought,
No, it was
no, we are serious about clothes, aren't we? We like to like them and wear them. And that
Oh, I
Gucci-
wear Gucci.
that- well, you
By
may
the way,
wear
the
one
Batiste is
piece,
all
but what
Gucci.
they put on that cowl.
Well, I wish
I
I
would
could
wear
wear
every
that.
look.
I'm not
I
young
want to
and
see you
beautiful
in
enough.
this. I want to see you in all that stuff.
I
But
would wear every look. I would especially wear the floral suit with it
You
had a
should.
choker and a chain.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
very
that's so
cute.
sexy.
No, I thought it was
Worrying about you.
spectacular.
What are you worrying about?
I'm very surprised that you didn't like because you
No.
look to me like someone
No, but
who can embrace
I
it.
do embrace all that jollity, and the current retail Gucci collection is jolly and wonderful and
There you
everything.
go.
But that,
But
he
that's
just,
exactly-
he just did it again 4 times worse and more. I mean,
4 times better.
more. We won't say yes, good or bad. We just say more. It just goes. It was just as if
No,
everything
I
had been
want to
thrown
say
at it.
good or bad. For me, it was spectacular.
You are free to say what you like in this country.
But no, I
Well,
don't.
I'm scared about the answer to this question, but do you think this collection was better than what you saw at Gucci?
Oh, way better.
Can't compare.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, way better. No, this was properly made. It was all moved. I'm
like,
sorry
can we
about the
see more of the
accessories,
looks or are they
possibly.
too
No,
up?
I'm not even
I think
sorry
they're not-
about
No,
that.
go ahead. I want to hear
yeah,
more.
no,
I want to
yeah,
hear
it's
more
more.
from
No,
Caroline here.
I don't think, first of all, I don't think you can compare.
No, of
But
course, of course.
I will forget this collection. I will never forget the Gucci collection of the other day, which is one point. And then there is personal taste, but No, I don't think you can compare, but if I have to, I
But
don't
these
think
are
this is
women's
better.
clothes. But you're just loving the Gucci for the fun of it.
I mean, have you gone back and looked at the clothes themselves? They were absolutely spectacular. There will be only one big problem, is that they're going to be so expensive. That embroidered cape is going to be 25 grand minimum
That
because
was
of the
beautiful.
work.
I agree, that was
It was extraordinary. There were some extraordinary gowns. No. And the only problem, and I think it's Vanessa Friedman that wrote it today or yesterday in the New York Times, that the problem with women in Gucci on the red carpet is that they look costumey.
Yeah.
And remember we were trying to discuss that, and that's it. She nailed it. I think it's it's very difficult to wear.
No, there were Heidi skirts in all sorts of... This is
but
proper
there's some
women,
stuff that is,
sophisticated women. The sport is something else that comes into it. No, I thought it was brave. I don't like the venue because everything you can't see. I don't like the girls not smiling at all. I don't like all that stuff. But I do think they're proper women's clothes. And they don't have to
But
be
if I bumped
overtly
into a girl
sexy,
in
just
look
to-
4, I
Yeah.
wouldn't think, oh, she's wearing Versace.
Because I
I
know,
would
I
think,
wouldn't.
oh, what's that?
It's
I mean,
not.
that's
I
the
wouldn't
chiffon
know.
I'm talking about. You know, she keeps she's
I only like the
work
chainmail
comes out really
dresses.
clever.
I was just, you took the words out of my mouth.
Charlotte, say that again. What was
I
that?
only like the chainmail dresses.
I agree, and I don't think any woman
so
would ever buy
nostalgic.
those
I know.
in the same breath as they would buy the...
That weird
No.
look 4 suit. What is that?
Precisely.
Or the puffer
Or the
jacket.
weird with the beanie that says equality or love or whatever with the
No,
like
that's the
chainmail
stylist
dress.
problem. That we
Yes.
should just sack the stylist.
No, but I mean that they shouldn't exist in the same collection. I don't think a beanie saying love should exist with a Versace chainmail dress. I don't. It's like that's wang, you know.
No, but I think Caroline's right. The styling has ruined this
Yeah,
quite
but she approves
significantly.
it and she picks her stylist. It's not that the designer say to the stylist, I hate it, but you're the stylist, just do it.
No.
So,
no.
you know,
Who does
it's a
style
vision.
it?
Who styles the Versace shows? We should probably know. Sorry, I don't.
Well, Dolce & Gabbana are the only people I'm told who style their own shows.
Not the only. There are
But they used
others
to have
who.
style. Yeah, Dolce and Gabbana used to
I don't
style
think
both.
Michele's.
No,
I
he
don't think a
doesn't.
stylist can do anything with Alessandro.
No, I think that's what he
I don't think
is, the
Alessandro
stylist,
Michele's
that's
shows
true.
are styled by someone else.
Overburdened.
No.
He's
Got
crazy
it.
brave.
He's already got it. Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed actually because, like I said, I wanted to see a little bit more sex. If you could go back to shot 9, that dress, it really does not look like a Versace dress to me. That doesn't seem
The
Versace.
petticoat dress.
To me, that's probably one of the ones I like the most, not just because of the haircut, which is
Yeah,
my
it's-
kind of haircut,
Right, I
but
agree with you.
I think that's probably one of my
There's
favourites.
There's
of
one
them.
coat down the road with a fur collar
That's
kind of
worn by a
shearling.
black model that was spectacular, I think. But did it look Prada? Prada put it at the end instead of here.
But and there a bit.
I'd like to talk about text,
Yeah.
because text refuses to go away.
It's a trend.
And it's been, I think the person who really kicked this off and kick-started this recent trend for that was Hood by Air, bringing back very simple graphics, bringing back a very
That's the one,
simple
sorry.
logo and graphics like that. It still seems to exist in fashion, which to me seems very strange as this kind of go-to thing that people think is very trendy and saleable.
I think they think it's young, isn't it? It's like
They
a
think
very
it's like
easy
a code
stamp
for
of
young
youth.
is to put
It's a football habit. I mean, it's off the football scarf that becomes,
Right.
and that's what you call text. You've now given it a literary mode. Good, well done.
what should I refer to it as?
No, and it
I
is
like
the
that.
football, it's
Yeah.
Arsenal or
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
it is. That's what it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Come on,
Oh
I
my
wonder
God.
which team done a telesupport.
I wonder, I couldn't read it. That was the snag. We could go back to the scarf.
I mean,
don't
the
want to go back to
suits.
scarf.
I
Let's not go back to this.
And let's not have that colour fading out stuff.
Yeah, ombre is also
Right.
really
Hate
dated to
ombre.
me.
And those hats are hopeless. You see, she couldn't have done that herself. She never would.
I don't think she's
No.
that uncool to put a
No, I think
beanie on that look.
no, not that beanie particularly.
No.
Oh,
So 10 out of 10?
Why not? If this is a
I mean,
nice
this is why I said, why are we doing Versace? Because we'd have to look at this kind of
is
thing.
that a nice red dress?
It's
though?
it's not that bad, Finn. Come on. I mean, now that we look, I mean, I agree on the fact that the problem here is that it doesn't feel Versace.
Yes, exactly.
The
That's
fact that it's a
exactly the
bit
problem.
confused, I don't really mind, because I sort of like this confusion in fashion going on right now. What bothers me the most is someone as big and as important as Donatella riding the trends of the moment.
Yes.
You know? I mean, there's
Precisely.
some, you know.
But I don't blame
like-
her for that. I blame people around her who are put into positions where they're said, this is the one who understands youth culture, this is the one who understands codes of younger people and trends. And they are the ones who say, Donatella, this beanie's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Donna, if we put these...
Yeah, but Donatella is clever enough to say
she wouldn't
you're
say yes.
fired.
No, but
Maybe it's
but
like
when it's presented
as
that...
a
I'm not
commercial viability thing. I think it's like it
But
does.
that's when it's a problem.
Exactly. It just feels like some sort of trend forecaster has regurgitated all the trends, and then it's come out of it and like, okay, we're going to have a long sleeve t-shirt with Unity on it. We're going to have a beanie. Then we're going to have a suit. Then we're
because
going to have
no
a
new
Balenciaga
stylist comes in
hat,
and
shoulder
says...
Some
you know,
Prada
remember-
here and there,
Exactly, a little-
sparkle of Prada here and there. And
Yeah, it just feels like it's
There's no new stylist comes in and says, remember 2001, let's do that again.
Do we
Because
know
that
who the
is what
stylist
young
is?
people would
No,
really
we should look it up.
respond to.
I think the dresser never got these beanies on properly. Didn't like to pull them out. Because the hairdresser
No,
was
the
going to kill him.
the dresser do
Sack
what
the
they
dresser. That's what I think.
I don't dislike the styling.
I don't
Sorry,
like
I
it.
said it.
Apart from the beanies.
I mean, I don't dislike
Beanies.
the styling. It's not the worst problem of this show, I think.
But they've also
It's the
chosen...
trying to be something they're not.
The picture on the right is
disturbs.
not her style, is it?
No.
it's really
It
horrible.
just feels inauthentic. I think that's the
have it
problem. And
in high
what we
school.
were saying earlier was like Versace is so unashamedly Versace in some ways. And
Exactly.
that's the like you say, the brand DNA and what makes it
remember,
exciting.
there was a collection, I think it was 2 years ago, where she brought the Versace text and put it all over and kind of jumbled it up around
The logo, you mean?
the logo.
You mean the
and
Roman-
The Medusa
yeah, when she
head.
brought it in
Medusa?
kind of a no, not the
No,
Medusa,
the-
just
the
the
lines.
letters, V,
Oh, no.
and it was quite simply placed over black dresses.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I thought that was really smart, fantastic, and that was the last time I saw something that was really inspiring. And since then, she's gone down this kind of quite athletic route.
Yeah, like this looks like Marcus Almeida. These three looks. That like I would say that if I didn't know it was Versace.
Would you?
Yes. The shearling
They've
coat,
also picked
the
a kind of
yellow.
motif with the hair that applies only to the white girls because you can't. They haven't done. They've kind of chosen this very specific motif of
Were there
this
any black girls?
blonde. Yes, I mean not
Oh, I see.
dark-skinned girls,
No.
but
So there, she doesn't have the hair.
no, because they've you know, and that to me is
But why didn't they plait it in? Silver or something?
well, I mean.
No, wouldn't look good.
Finish the sentence. That's for me is. What did you want to say?
Which one?
When you said that's for me is the fact that the
Well, that's the contradiction in bringing something like diversity into the show as a kind of hallmark of your collection, using it as a big title in the press release.
it's the I think it was the first paragraph.
I mean, this skirt and this sweater is just not her handwriting,
No.
is it? I don't know who it belongs to, but not her.
It's funny. I keep seeing some hints to Prada.
When I look at 34,
Right?
yeah,
But it's like you want Versace to be, but yeah, it's strange. You want it to be what it is.
It's really strange. It's so unexpected.
This
What's the-
slinkiness just isn't there, you know?
No.
It's just kind of.
Have they got the last looks ready yet? The good ones.
Oh gosh, what's that number?
The dresses.
37. Yeah.
These are pretty ugly.
That's your fave, Finn. Look, number 38, just for you.
oh god, that is really
Do you really like
hideous. That is so utterly hideous.
Oh, okay.
No, I think
thought you were
30, if you go back to 36 as well, I'm gonna say that's Vaccarello all over.
Yeah, it's
That
very
says
new.
to me, Vaccarello left a dress behind and they put it on. They gave it some all-black look that makes a woman look 10 years older than she actually is.
But
And that is
about
Vaccarello
10
all over
inches
to
smaller. Can I put a plea in for the
me. Okay,
black
yes,
dress?
fair enough.
I hope that
As
Anthony
the people
Vaccarello
dressed in
doesn't
black.
watch this
I hope he does.
panel when you're on.
No, we're going to send it to him, aren't we, especially?
I think a lot of the
Are you
designers
doing
do
the
watch these
Saint
panels.
Laurent panel?
I would love to do the Saint Laurent panel.
Take note.
Okay, take notes, take
I'm a
notes.
big
I
fan
want to
of
be
what
here with him.
I'm a big fan of what Hedy did, and when
too.
Vaccarello went over
Everybody
there,
does agree that.
it became old. And I think he did the same thing to Versace. He made it old and boring.
He did
And
one.
pretending to be
Or he
sexy
did
at
two,
Saint
one?
Laurent. That's-
He did 2 Versus
Two
collections,
already.
I think.
No.
Oh, at Saint Laurent.
One.
No, he's done more than one.
But it's all about prostitutes. What's that about?
It's all
the
about
advertising. I
prostitutes.
know, please.
The
Haven't you noticed the advertising?
for Saint Laurent?
Yeah.
No.
Well, look carefully.
I will have to look more carefully. I thought it looked like regurgitated Calvin Klein ads.
Oh no, you're looking at the wrong magazine.
Oh, clearly. I'm not reaching to the top shelf these
No,
days.
no, you're not. No, definitely you're not. I think they're just all about. Well, look,
It's
now
hilarious.
I've said it, you'll notice.
Okay.
These
no,
two
I'll-
together,
I
they should
know.
have a show of their own.
I've been pitching for my own special, but they've fallen on deaf ears so far. Sorry, I'm taking over.
Where has Hedy gone? Because he was so good.
Well, is there a non-compete situation?
There must have been like a year or something. He's probably gone back to LA and just
Hold
taken
on,
photos.
there's a lawsuit because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they took away the non-compete, and so
Oh,
the
he
money,
wants it back,
and he
doesn't he?
sued them, saying no,
I want the
It was a
non-compete
year,
because I'll
yeah.
get paid for a
Yeah.
year.
and probably preparing his own brand, which
I would love that.
Eddie, are you listening?
Yeah.
We want you back.
Yes.
Well, he's the most influential
Oh,
designer
there's the
for
dress.
men and actually women.
lovely.
I'm so
In
proud
all-
of you
in
to say that because I'm
Let's
usually
say that
outside.
again. I want
I
to hear
love
that
it.
again because I think we can. I agree with that.
Okay, Eddie Slimane, most influential for the whole period of the last 3 years. Well, should we say 3?
No, longer. I mean,
Longer,
remember
5?
Dior Homme, what he did with Dior
Yeah,
Homme?
no, that was the point. I'm
Yeah.
saying the best.
That's what, 20 years ago? No, maybe
No.
not 20,
No, no,
15.
No.
Now we
If
have to
you're
make
on-
a conclusive statement about Donatella though.
Okay. Do we have to
Donatella has lost her way.
No, don't
No,
say
no,
that. Poor thing.
Her best work has been the Ice Bucket Challenge. How about that?
Oh no. Okay.
What
we
does
can't.
that mean,
No,
even?
listen, people. We can't do that because if this is really her last show,
Yes, no,
she
you're right.
deserves better than
You're
that.
right.
She
You're
does.
absolutely
I
right.
think it could be her last show. I don't understand why it's like this.
It
But
doesn't.
she doesn't deserve
No, I agree.
to
And
us
it
to
doesn't
be
look like
so
her
bad.
work. It doesn't look.
It doesn't look like what she's
her
done,
work.
yeah.
No, not
Apart
at
from the
all.
last looks that
The
are
last
taking
few,
some
yeah,
time
but
to
she's
come
got
up.
those dresses in there. We can.
Do you get the name of the style?
The stylist is called Jacob Kay.
Oh.
When he loses his job, right, Jacob? That's that. Ouch.
I didn't say it.
Wow.
I'm just going to say
Jacob
I didn't
He's
say it.
he's a big stylist. Yeah.
I did.
Does he
have-
always do Versace?
I don't know if he always does Versace, but he's big. He's a big hitter.
What does he work on?
I think he does. I think he works for W or does a lot for W, and
I see.
he's a big old name.
Yes, he works a lot for W.
Yeah.
So, if Tisci were to take the helm, this may
see
be
a lot
too
more.
much of a hypothetical,
Not that hypothetical,
But-
I think.
considering the chatter. Would we be more excited about that prospect?
Yes.
For
I can
Versace?
be,
yeah.
You're nodding, Jennifer?
I would be. I think it would be a lot more. I think it'd be a lot slicker.
Modern.
Not so much craziness. I think a little bit more fun as well, and a lot more streamlined. I do love this 56.
There'd be really good accessories with him, I think. We'd see some corsetry.
Dresses, hello, Versace dresses by Riccardo Tisci.
Yeah.
I might even start wearing
Well,
Versace.
exactly. There you go.
There'd be a lot of Instagram moments, is what I think. There'd be a lot of live streaming
I think
And
Grimes
unfortunately,
wear
a lot
of
Versace
Kardashians.
dress by
and a lot of
Ricardo.
Kardashians.
Think
and
who? Sorry.
Grimes. I feel like that would be a good moment. Ricardo Tisci for Versace. Grimes wearing the dress would be a nice.
Donatella loves Grimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I can't see Grimes in these.
I think Donatella probably introduced Tisci to Grimes, actually.
Do you? Have you got the inside
Yeah, she's
intel
the
on that?
master. She doesn't
She's
need
the
her.
master.
Everybody wants
absolutely
Donatella.
in command of
Yeah.
musical taste.
Yeah.
Far better than Tisci, I reckon.
Well, that wasn't a very positive panel.
No, but we enjoyed it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. All right.
Because
Thoroughly
sometimes
did.
it's not such fun.
which is what
Yeah.
You, you're good. You can keep the job. What do you want to do? What next show?
Oh
Saint
yeah,
Laurent, you
no.
want to do
Next
Saint
I'm
Laurent?
doing. Next I'm doing. Now this
we're
is just
auditioning for the Saint Laurent
self-promotion
person.
at this point.
Everybody-
Next I'm doing Balenciaga,
Oh dear, might be difficult.
but I'll save that for the next one. Any concluding thoughts on Versace from any of my esteemed panelists?
I was just a bit underwhelmed. I wanted a bit more sex.
I wanted more sex. as
I
well.
want to send her a message saying we really, really love you and we don't think that was your best
Yeah,
shot.
we want some more tummy and just more skin.
Tummy?
More skin, definitely. Mimma?
Yeah, I don't like a lot of skin in clothing, but I think Donatella eats that. And as you said, you know, I just wish it was, especially if it's the last. I would have expected some grated hits, some
More Medusa heads.
Yeah, exactly.
self-coating. How do you say self-coating?
Self-referential.
Self-referential. And I'm a little bit underwhelmed, but I still like
But Donatella, we love you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.